Isn't it a strange and quiet paradox that the very act designed to bring you peace can leave a quiet ache in its wake? You spend your day, or perhaps your week, gathering the courage to finally draw a line, to say a gentle no, to carve out a single hour just for yourself. And in the silence that follows, when you are meant to feel replenished, a different feeling creeps in. A subtle, nagging whisper that asks, "Was that selfish? Have I let someone down?" It's a feeling so common, yet so profoundly personal. This quiet, heavy echo of choosing yourself. What if this feeling, this guilt, isn't a sign that you have done something wrong, but a sign of just how deeply you have learned to care? What if it is simply a habit of the heart, a well-worn path your mind has walked for years, a path that we can, together, gently begin to change, starting here, tonight? Before we begin this journey, just a quick moment. I'm curious where this message is finding you. You can simply think it, or if you feel called to, write in the comments which part of this world you're listening from right now, and what time it is where you are. Are you listening in the quiet of a late night, with the world outside finally still, or perhaps in the early morning hours, when sleep hasn't come yet and the day has not yet begun? Just a word or two to mark your presence in this shared space, and then settle in, because this time right now, is entirely and unapologetically yours. There is nothing else you need to do, nowhere else you need to be. Let that truth sink into your body. Feel the way your shoulders might drop just a fraction of an inch as you hear it. This time is for you. As you lie here, begin to notice the simple physical facts of this moment. Notice the weight of your body being held, fully supported by the surface beneath you. Feel the gentle pressure where your heels, your legs, your back, and your head make contact. There is a quiet strength in this support, a constant presence that asks nothing of you but to rest your weight upon it. Allow yourself to be held. Let go of the need to hold yourself up, just for now. Let the bed, the couch, the earth itself do that work. Bring your awareness to your breath without any need to change it. Just observe its natural rhythm, the gentle rise of your chest or belly on the in-breath and the soft release on the out-breath. Each breath is an anchor to this present moment, a quiet reminder that you are here, you are safe, and you are alive. With each exhale, imagine you are releasing a small piece of the day that has passed. Let go of the conversations you replayed in your mind, the tasks left undone, the expectations you carried, both from others and from yourself. Imagine each breath out as a soft cloud of smoke, carrying away the residue of the day, leaving the air in your lungs a little clearer, a little cleaner. Tonight, our intention is a gentle one. It is not to fight this feeling of guilt or to banish it with force. That would be just another battle in a life that has already had enough of them. Instead, our intention is to understand it, to sit with it as a kind friend, and to lovingly dissolve the heavy weight of the undeserved guilt you carry. We are making space. Space for peace. Space for compassion. Space for the deep, restorative rest your body and your soul have been asking for. Consider that this guilt you feel is not a flaw. It is, in fact, the shadow side of one of your greatest gifts, your immense capacity to care. You feel this way precisely because you are a person of deep empathy, of profound consideration for the feelings and needs of others. You have spent a lifetime practicing the art of giving, of anticipating needs of being the reliable one, the strong one, the one who shows up. This pattern of care is a beautiful, powerful thing. But when a pattern is practiced for so long, it becomes automatic. The neural pathways in the brain become so efficient that any deviation from the path feels wrong, alarming, even dangerous. Choosing yourself is a deviation from that well-worn path. So of course, your nervous system, your heart, your mind sends up a flare. It says, wait, this is unfamiliar territory. Is this safe? Are we doing the right thing? This feeling of guilt is not a moral judgment. It is a biological and psychological signal of a pattern being interrupted. And interrupting a pattern that no longer serves you is the very definition of growth. It is an act of profound courage. So as you lie here, let's begin to change the story you tell yourself about this feeling. Instead of calling it guilt, just for tonight, let's call it the ache of a changing heart. It is the emotional equivalent of a muscle soreness after a new workout. It is a sign that you are strengthening a new part of yourself, the part that knows how to receive, the part that knows how to honor your own sacred needs. Let your awareness drift down to your hands. Notice if they are clenched or open. Gently, invite your fingers to unfurl, to rest softly with palms facing up or down, whichever feels more natural. Imagine your hands, which have given so much, have held so much, have worked so hard, are now simply here to receive rest, to receive stillness, to receive this moment of peace. Let that feeling of gentle receiving travel from your hands up through your arms and into your shoulders. This is where we so often carry the weight of the world, the sense of responsibility for everyone else's happiness. With your next exhale, give that weight a little more permission to melt away. Imagine it as a heavy cloak you've been wearing all day, and you are now shrugging it off your shoulders, letting it slide down and pool on the floor, leaving you lighter, freer. Time for Chai 2.5s. Now bring your attention to your jaw, your mouth, and your tongue. So many of us hold tension here, from words left unspoken, from smiling when we felt like crying, from holding it all together. Gently allow your teeth to part, ever so slightly. Let your tongue rest comfortably in your mouth. Soften the tiny muscles around your eyes and across your brow. This is a place of non-doing. You are not required to perform, to please, or to perfect anything right now. Your only task is to be, to breathe, to exist in this safe and quiet space you have claimed for yourself. The journey of releasing this quiet ache is not a race. It is a slow, gentle homecoming. Tonight, we have taken the first and most important step. We have named it without judgment, and we have set the intention to let it go with love. By the time this journey ends, you will have explored the deep roots of this feeling, and you will have planted new seeds of self-worth and permission. You will come to see that caring for yourself is not a selfish act, but the most generous thing you can do for everyone you love. But for now, there is only this breath and the next, sinking deeper into a feeling of well-deserved ease. You have done enough. You are enough. All that is left to do is rest. Let's go a little deeper now into this gentle exploration. With your body resting and your breath flowing, let us together turn our kind attention toward that specific feeling we've named, that quiet ache of choosing yourself. We're going to name the weight you carry, not to make it heavier, but to understand its shape, its texture, its story. The first step in letting something go is to acknowledge its presence fully, without judgment or resistance. So, allow yourself to notice the thought or perhaps the voice that sometimes arises after you've taken care of yourself. It's often a single word, isn't it? The word selfish. Notice how that word feels when you hear it in your mind. It can land with a thud, a sharp pang of discomfort. For so many of us, it's one of the most painful labels we can imagine. See if you can just observe this word as if it were written on a leaf floating down a stream. You don't have to grab it. You don't have to believe it. You are simply noticing its existence. It's a thought, a sound, an old piece of programming. It is not the ultimate truth of who you are. This voice is not your enemy. Think of it more as an old, overprotective guard, one who learned long ago that your safety and acceptance depended on putting everyone else first. It's a guard who doesn't realize the world has changed, that you have changed, and that you are now strong enough to be both caring of others and caring of yourself. So when you hear it, you don't need to argue. You can just nod to it gently and say, "I hear you. Thank you for trying to protect me. But I am safe now." Time SAS 2.0s. Now, let's move from the mind into the body, because this is where these stories are truly held. Feelings are not just abstract concepts. They are physical, tangible energies that live within our tissues. So I invite you to take a gentle scan of your body, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head, with one simple question in your heart. Where does this feeling live in me? There is no right or wrong answer. Just notice what you notice. For many, this weight of guilt or obligation settles in the chest. You might feel it as a tightness, a pressure, a sense of being constricted, as if a band is wrapped around your heart space. This is the place of connection, of love, and it's often where we feel the burden of responsibility for others' feelings most acutely. If you notice a sensation there, just breathe into it. Imagine your breath as a warm, golden light flowing into that space, not to force the tightness away, but just to bring it some warmth, some air, some gentle company, just letting it know it is seen. For others, the feeling might reside lower down, in the stomach or the solar plexus. It might feel like a knot, a twist, a cold stone. This is our center of personal power and identity. When we feel we have betrayed a core rule, like always be selfless, this area can clench in protest. It's the feeling of having let someone down, or the fear of disapproval. Again, if this is where you feel it, just breathe. Send your soft, accepting breath directly to that knot. Imagine the breath gently circling it, loosening its edges, reminding it that it is okay to soften, to release its grip, just for tonight. Perhaps you feel it elsewhere. A tension in the throat, from swallowing your own needs, a heaviness in the shoulders, from carrying emotional burdens that were not yours to carry, a clenching in the jaw. Wherever you find it, just meet it with this kind, curious awareness. This sensation is not you. It is a messenger. It is the physical echo of a long-held belief. And by simply noticing it with kindness, you are beginning to change your relationship with it. You are shifting from being controlled by the feeling to becoming a compassionate witness of it. And in that shift, everything begins to change. Now, let's witness the story behind this weight. Let's look at the long and often beautiful history of how this pattern came to be. Think back, as far as you are comfortable, to the times you learned that your value, your goodness, your lovability was connected to your ability to give. This was likely not a single lesson, but thousands of small moments woven into the fabric of your life. a smile of approval when you shared your favorite toy, praise for being the easy child who never caused any trouble, the feeling of being needed when a friend or family member was in pain and you were the one to comfort them. These were not mistakes. This was not a flaw in your upbringing or your character. This was you learning how to love. You learned that being attuned to the needs of others was a pathway to connection. You learned that your empathy was a powerful gift that could soothe pain and bring joy. And so you practiced. You became an expert at reading a room, at sensing what others needed before they even asked. You became a master at setting your own needs aside, sometimes so completely that you forgot you even had them. This was a pattern of deep care, a survival strategy perhaps, for navigating the complexities of family and relationships. It was an expression of a truly beautiful heart, one that feels things deeply and wants the world to be a better, kinder place. See this history not as a list of your failings, but as a testament to your strength and your love. You carried so much for so long because you were capable of it. You gave from your wellspring of kindness again and again and again. This weight you feel now, this guilt, is the echo of that history. It is the exhaustion of a well that has given more than it has received. It is the cry of a part of you that has been waiting patiently in the wings for its turn to be seen, to be heard, to be cared for. So as you lie here, breathing into the places where this weight resides in your body, see if you can offer a silent thank you to this pattern. Thank it for everything it has taught you about love, about empathy, about connection. Honor it for the way it has helped you navigate your life and care for the people you hold dear. We are not here to erase this beautiful part of you. We are simply here to bring it into balance, to teach the giver within you how to also receive, to let that overprotective guard at the gate of your heart know that it is now safe to let love flow both ways, outward to others and inward to yourself. This awareness is the gentle rain that begins to soften the hard ground of guilt. Just knowing its story, feeling its home in your body, and honoring its origins, this is the beginning of a profound release. Just stay with your breath now, allowing these truths to settle, like dust motes in a quiet, sunlit room. There is nothing to fix, only to witness with kindness. As the gentle rhythm of your breath continues to anchor you in this moment of peace, let us now take a quiet, sacred moment to truly honor the part of you that has given so much. Before we can release the cost of this pattern, we must first bow in gratitude to its source. The weight of undeserved guilt you've been carrying is not a sign of weakness. It is the shadow of an immense strength. It is the echo of a lifetime of love. Let yourself feel the truth of this. Bring to mind, just for a moment, the faces of the people you have cared for, the situations you have smoothed over, the burdens you have lightened for others. You don't need to recall specific details, just allow the feeling, the essence of your caring nature, to fill your awareness. Think of the love that is poured from you, often without a second thought. The deep well of empathy that allows you to feel what others feel, to anticipate their needs, to offer a comforting word or a steadying hand. This is not a small thing. In a world that can often feel harsh and indifferent, your capacity to feel so deeply is a profound gift. It is a form of artistry, a quiet mastery of the heart that you have cultivated over decades. You learn to listen, not just to words, but to the silence between them. You learned to see the flicker of pain in someone's eyes, even when they were smiling. You learned to put your own exhaustion aside to make one more phone call, to cook one more meal, to offer one more hour of your time. This was not done out of obligation alone. It was fueled by a genuine, powerful sense of duty and a deep, abiding love. This sense of duty is not a flaw to be corrected. It is a reflection of your character. It speaks of integrity, of reliability, of a soul that understands the intricate web of connection that binds us all together. You understood, on a visceral level, that your actions mattered, that your care could be a source of stability and comfort for others, and so you gave it freely. You became the calm in the storm, the rock, the safe harbor. You held space for other people's chaos, their grief, their joy, their confusion. And in doing so, you offered a kind of sacred service to the world around you. Let yourself truly acknowledge this now. Allow a feeling of gentle pride, of quiet recognition to wash over you. See the beauty in this part of yourself. See the strength it required. Think of the resilience you built, the countless times you pushed past your own limits, not for praise or recognition, but simply because it was what your heart called you to do. This is the truth of who you are, a person of immense generosity and profound compassion. The pattern of putting others first was born from the most beautiful parts of your humanity. As you rest here, wrapped in the stillness of this night, allow yourself to receive this validation. Let it sink into your cells. Let it soothe the part of you that has felt unseen, the part of you that has worked so tirelessly in the background, keeping everything and everyone afloat. You have done so much. You have loved so well. You have been a force for good in the lives you have touched. Breathe that in. Let it be a balm for your weary soul. And now, in this space of deep honor and validation, let us gently and with infinite compassion acknowledge the other side of this story. Because every pattern, no matter how beautiful its origins, comes with a cost when it is out of balance. This lifetime of giving, this unwavering focus on the needs of others, has come at a price, and that price has been paid by you. It has been paid with your energy, your time, your dreams, your quiet moments of peace. It is the cost of silencing your own needs, telling yourself they weren't as important, that you could wait, that you could manage. It is the accumulated exhaustion of 1,000 small sacrifices that no one ever saw. The nights you stayed up late to finish a task for someone else, even when your eyes were burning with fatigue. The times you said yes with your lips when your body was screaming no. The moments you absorbed someone else's anger or anxiety because you didn't want to upset them by setting a boundary. The hobbies you let go of, the interests you set aside, the quiet longings of your own soul that you promised you would get to one day. One day when everyone else was okay. One day when all the work was done. But that day never seemed to arrive. Acknowledging this cost is not about blame. It is not about feeling sorry for yourself or creating a story of victimhood. It is simply about telling the whole truth with compassion. It is about balancing the books of your own life. It's about looking at the beautiful tapestry you have woven with your care and gently pointing to the threads that represent your own well-being, noticing that they have become thin, faded, or perhaps even broken. This is a moment of profound honesty, and it is in this honesty that healing begins. Feel the truth of this cost in your body. It may feel like a deep weariness, a bone-deep tiredness that no amount of sleep seems to touch. It may feel like a sense of flatness, a loss of your own vibrant color. It may feel like a persistent, low-level anxiety, the hum of a system that has been in overdrive for far too long. Whatever it feels like for you, just be with it. Let it be here. This is the evidence. This is the signal from your wise body that the old way, the beautiful way of giving, is no longer sustainable in its current form. It is not asking you to stop being a caring person. It is asking you to include one more person in your circle of care, yourself. Your body, in its infinite wisdom, is sending you a message. The quiet ache of guilt that arises when you choose yourself is part of that message. It is the alarm bell of a system that is trying to recalibrate. It is a sign that you are on the cusp of a vital and necessary change. So, honor the love that started it all. Honor the empathy and the sense of duty. Hold them as the precious gifts they are. And at the same time, honor the exhaustion. Honor the depletion. Honor the quiet voice inside you that is whispering, "It's my turn now." Both are true. Both are worthy of your attention. And here, in the safety of this moment, you can hold them both. You can be both the powerful giver and the one who is worthy of receiving. You can be both the rock for others and the one who deserves a safe place to rest. This is the balance we are moving toward. This is the healing you so deeply deserve. For now, just rest in this dual acknowledgement, the beauty of your giving and the truth of its cost. Letting both be true, letting both be seen, letting both be held in the gentle embrace of your own compassion. As you continue to rest in this space of honest reflection, allowing the truth of your giving nature and its cost to coexist, I want to offer you a profound and deeply comforting reassurance. You are not alone in this. The inner conflict you feel, that tug of war between caring for others and caring for yourself, is not a personal failing. It is not a sign that you are broken or uniquely flawed. In fact, it is the signature experience of some of the kindest, most compassionate souls on this planet. You are part of a vast, unseen community of helpers, healers, nurturers, and peacemakers who are all learning this same essential lesson. Imagine for a moment, all across the globe, in every time zone, people just like you are lying down to rest tonight. People with hearts so big, they feel responsible for the happiness of everyone around them. People who have mastered the art of self-sacrifice to such a degree that the simple act of taking an evening for themselves can feel like a transgression. There are parents who have spent their day pouring every ounce of energy into their children and now feel a pang of guilt for wanting just 10 minutes of silence. There are dedicated professionals who have gone above and beyond for their clients or colleagues, and now lie awake wondering if they should have done even more. There are friends who have been the emotional support system for their entire circle, who finally set a boundary to protect their own peace and now wrestle with the fear that they have been selfish or unkind. You are one of them. Your experience is a shared one. This feeling is a learned response, an emotional habit conditioned by a society that often praises selflessness to the point of self-erasure, especially for those who are naturally nurturing. We are taught from a young age that good people are givers. We are shown stories of martyrs and heroes who sacrifice everything for a greater cause. We are praised for being accommodating, for being easygoing, for not making waves. And while these qualities can be wonderful, they can also, over time, create a deep, unconscious belief that our own needs are secondary, that our worth is conditional upon our usefulness to others. This isn't a conspiracy. It's just a cultural inheritance, a set of unspoken rules we absorb from the air we breathe. And because you are a person of deep integrity, a person who wants to be good and do good in the world, you took these lessons to heart. You learned the rules so well that they became a part of your operating system. So now, when you try to do something different, like putting your own needs on the same level as others, the old programming kicks in. The alarm bells of selfishness start to ring. It feels so real, so convincing, because it is a deeply ingrained habit of thought. But a habit is not a truth. It is just a path in the brain that has been walked many, many times. And we can, with gentle persistence, begin to walk a new path. We can create a new habit of thought that is more aligned with our deepest well-being. So, let's normalize this internal conflict. Let's remove the layer of shame or judgment that so often accompanies it. The battle between the ingrained habit of service and the emerging need for self-care is not a sign of your failure. It is a sign of your growth. It is the friction that occurs when two parts of you are trying to find a new, more harmonious way to coexist. One part, the caregiver, is crying out, "But they need me. I can't let them down." And the other part, your deeper inner wisdom, is whispering, "But I need me too. I cannot disappear." This is a sacred, necessary negotiation. It is the process of expanding your definition of love to include yourself. It is the work of a maturing soul. I want you to feel the truth of this in your bones. The fact that you feel this conflict so acutely is a testament to the goodness of your heart. People who are genuinely selfish do not lie awake at night worrying about it. They do not feel a pang of guilt for taking what they want. The very presence of this feeling is proof of your conscientious and caring nature. It is born from your empathy, not your ego. So let this affirmation settle deep within you, letting it be a soothing balm on any part of you that feels ashamed or wrong. Let it land in your heart, in your belly, in the very marrow of your bones. Just breathe and receive this truth. Your deep capacity to care is a gift, not a flaw. Let's say it again, silently to yourself. My deep capacity to care is a gift, not a flaw. Feel the shift that happens when you frame it this way. The guilt is not a sign that you are a bad person for choosing yourself. It is a sign that you are a good person who is learning a new way to live. The internal conflict is not a problem to be solved. It is a process to be honored. You are not broken. You are expanding. You are in the midst of a profound and beautiful transformation, moving from a limited model of love that only flows outward to a sustainable, holistic model where love flows outward and inward in a continuous, life-giving circle. Think of it like a river that has only ever flowed in one direction, pouring itself into the sea. And now, the river is learning that it also needs to be fed by rain from the heavens, by springs from the earth, so that it can continue to flow. You are learning to welcome the rain. You are learning to honor the springs. This does not make you a bad river. It makes you a wise and enduring one. So release the pressure to have this all figured out. Release the need to be perfect in your journey of self-care. There will be days when you set a boundary and feel peaceful, and there will be days when you set one and feel that familiar ache of guilt. It's all part of the process. Each time you feel it and meet it with this new understanding, you are weakening the old neural pathway and strengthening the new one. You are gently retraining that overprotective guard, showing them time and time again that choosing yourself does not lead to disaster. It leads to resilience. It leads to peace. It leads to a deeper, more authentic way of loving both yourself and the world. You are in good company. You are on the right path. This feeling is normal, and it is a sign of your beautiful, caring heart in the process of becoming whole. Just rest with that knowing. You are not alone, and you are doing just fine. Now that we have honored the beauty of your giving nature and normalized the inner conflict that arises when you begin to care for yourself, let us gently reframe the entire concept of self-care. For so long, you may have viewed it as an indulgence, a luxury, something to be earned after all other obligations were met. But this perspective is precisely what keeps you trapped in the cycle of depletion and guilt. We need a new way of seeing, a new metaphor that resonates with the truth of how energy, love, and life actually work. So, I invite you to imagine a village nestled in a dry, sun-baked land. At the center of this village is a deep, stone-lined well. This well is the lifeblood of the entire community. It provides the water for drinking, for cooking, for washing, for growing the food that sustains everyone. The villagers depend on it completely. Now, imagine that you are the well. For years, you have given freely. Every day, people have come with their buckets, and you have offered up your cool, clear water without question. You have quenched the thirst of the young and the old, the healthy and the sick. You have nourished the gardens and sustained the livestock. The village thrives because of your generosity, and you have taken great pride and found deep purpose in this role. You see the smiling faces, the healthy children, the flourishing crops, and you know you have made a difference. But there is a truth about this well that has been overlooked. The well is not a magical, infinite source. It is fed by a deep, underground spring and by the seasonal rains that seep down through the earth. If the well only ever gives, if water is only ever drawn out and never replenished, the water level will inevitably begin to fall. At first, it's barely noticeable. The water is just a little harder to reach. The buckets come up a little less full. But over time, the water level drops lower and lower. The water that remains becomes murky, stagnant. Eventually, the day comes when the buckets are lowered and they scrape against the dry, rocky bottom. The well is empty. Time 2.5s. And in that moment, the well can no longer serve anyone. Its great purpose, its identity as the giver of life, has been rendered impossible. The village, which depended so completely on the well's generosity, begins to suffer. This is the crucial reframing. Choosing to replenish yourself is not selfish. It is the most responsible, most loving, most sustainable thing you can do, not just for yourself, but for everyone and everything that depends on you. The well cannot pour if it is empty. Let this simple, powerful truth wash over you. It dismantles the entire argument of the inner critic that calls you selfish. The voice of guilt operates from a place of short-term, crisis-level thinking. It sees only the immediate need, the bucket that is waiting to be filled right now. It panics at the thought of anyone being momentarily disappointed or inconvenienced. But your deeper wisdom, the wisdom of the well itself, understands the long-term reality. It knows that sustainability is the key. It knows that a well that honors its own need for replenishment is a well that can serve the village for a lifetime through every season of drought and plenty. A well that ignores its own source will eventually become a dry, useless monument to a generosity that could not last. From this new perspective, your acts of self-care are transformed. They are no longer indulgent luxuries. They become vital necessities. That hour you take to read a book is not you being lazy. It is the gentle rain seeping back into the earth, refilling your source. That no you say to a request that would drain you is not you being unkind. It is you protecting the integrity of the well, ensuring the water remains clean and clear. That extra hour of sleep you allow yourself is not you being unproductive. It is the deep underground spring, slowly and silently restoring your reserves. Every act of replenishment, no matter how small, is a sacred act of stewardship. You are the keeper of a precious resource, your own life force, your energy, your spirit. And tending to this resource is your primary responsibility. To neglect it is to neglect the very source of the gifts you so desperately want to share with the world. Let this new affirmation find a home within you and feel how it changes the energy in your body. Replenishing my own spirit is the most generous thing I can do. Breathe with that for a moment. Feel the logic of it, the simple, earthy truth it contains. It doesn't ask you to stop giving. It doesn't ask you to become a person who doesn't care. It simply asks you to honor the full cycle of giving and receiving. It invites you to become as dedicated to your own replenishment as you have always been to everyone else's needs. Think about the quality of the water you offer when your well is full. It is cool, clear, and life-giving. When you are rested, centered, and nourished, the love and support you offer to others comes from a place of genuine abundance. It is patient, it is wise, it is joyful. But when you give from an empty well, when you are scraping the bottom of your reserves, the water you offer is different. It is strained. It is tinged with resentment, with fatigue, with a subtle expectation of return. Giving from a place of depletion ultimately poisons both the giver and the receiver. It creates a dynamic of martyrdom and obligation, not one of free and joyful connection. By choosing to replenish yourself, you are choosing to offer the world the very best of you, not just what's left of you. You are choosing to give from the overflow of a full and vibrant wellspring, rather than the dregs of an exhausted one. This is a profound shift from seeing self-care as a withdrawal from life to seeing it as a deep engagement with life. It is the practice that allows you to show up in the world with your full heart, your clearest mind, and your most resilient spirit. So as you drift here, on the edge of sleep, let go of the old story of selfishness. Let it dissolve like a clump of dry earth in the replenishing waters of this new understanding. You are the well, and your primary, most sacred duty is to the wellspring, to the rain, to the deep, quiet sources that keep you full. Because a full well is a gift to the entire world. A full well can weather any drought. A full well can pour and pour and pour, and in the pouring, become even more of itself. Rest now, in the knowing that by caring for yourself tonight, by allowing yourself this deep and peaceful sleep, you are not taking from anyone. You are preparing the gift you will be to the world tomorrow. You are letting the waters rise. Now, as you lie here, held in the gentle embrace of this new understanding, let us move from the realm of knowing into the realm of doing, or rather, a sacred kind of non-doing. We have honored your giving heart. We have normalized the inner conflict, and we have reframed self-care as a vital necessity. The soil of your soul is prepared. The next step is a simple yet profoundly powerful act of release. It is the moment of giving yourself full and unequivocal permission to let go of the burden you have carried for so long. This is not something that can be forced or intellectually decided. It must be felt. It is a declaration made in the quietest chambers of your own heart, a sovereign act of grace you bestow upon yourself. Imagine for a moment that you have been holding a heavy stone in your hand. You have been clenching your fist around it for years, perhaps for your entire life. This stone represents the unspoken expectation that you must always be the giver, the helper, the strong one. It is the weight of other people's needs, the fear of their disappointment, the ingrained belief that your worth is tied to your service. Your muscles have grown accustomed to the strain. The tension has become so normal that you barely notice it anymore. But your hand is tired, your arm aches, and the constant effort of holding on has been draining your life force, drop by precious drop. Giving yourself permission is the conscious choice to simply open your hand. It is the realization that you do not have to keep clenching. You do not have to keep holding this weight. It is safe to set it down. So, right here, right now, in the safety and silence of this moment, I invite you to perform this sacred act. You can do this with a silent inner declaration or by whispering the words softly into the darkness. Let the words rise up from that deep, wise part of you that knows the truth of the empty well. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, silently or loud, give yourself this permission. I give myself full permission to let go of the burden of guilt. Let that statement hang in the air around you. Feel the vibration of it. Let it land. Let it be true, just for this moment. Let's try it again, perhaps with a slightly different flavor, finding the words that resonate most deeply for you. Breathe in, gathering your intention. And as you breathe out, release the words. I release the unspoken expectation that I must always be the giver. Feel what happens in your body as you make this declaration. You might notice a subtle softening in your shoulders, a release in your jaw, a deepening of your breath. You might feel a sense of lightness, or perhaps a wave of emotion as the reality of this freedom begins to dawn. There is no right or wrong way to feel. Just be present with what is. This permission is a key, turning a lock in a door you may not have even realized was closed. Behind this door is a vast landscape of peace, of ease, of just being. It is the freedom to exist without constantly justifying your existence through acts of service. It is the freedom to simply be worthy, just as you are. Let's explore what this permission truly means. It means giving yourself permission to be imperfect, to not have all the answers, to not always be the strong one. It means allowing others the dignity of their own struggles, trusting that they have the strength to manage their own lives without your constant intervention. It means giving yourself permission to receive, to accept a compliment without deflecting it, to allow someone to help you without feeling like a burden, to simply receive the gift of this quiet moment, this rest, without feeling you have to earn it. And most importantly, for tonight, it means giving yourself permission to set this weight down completely, even if you feel you must pick it up again tomorrow. That's okay. This is a practice, not a permanent, one-time fix. Just for this night, you are granting yourself a sacred reprieve. You are declaring this time, between now and the morning light, as a sanctuary, a guilt-free zone, a space where the only need that matters is your own deep need for rest and restoration. Imagine a heavy backpack you've been carrying on a long, arduous hike. You've carried it for so many miles that the straps have dug into your shoulders, and your back aches with a familiar, chronic pain. You come to a beautiful, peaceful clearing in the forest. You know you have to continue the hike tomorrow, but for tonight, you can take the backpack off. Imagine the feeling of unbuckling those straps, the immense relief as you shrug the weight from your shoulders and let the pack slide to the ground with a soft thud. The feeling of straightening your spine, of rolling your shoulders back, of taking your first deep, unencumbered breath. That is what we are doing right now. We are not throwing the backpack away forever. We are simply acknowledging that it is safe and necessary to set it down and rest. The world will not fall apart if you take this time for yourself. The people you love will be okay. The problems of tomorrow will still be there to be solved by a more rested, more resourceful you. But for now, you are off the clock. Your shift is over. You have permission to be completely and utterly at rest. Feel this permission spreading through your entire being. It is a wave of warmth and relaxation, starting from your heart and expanding outwards. It flows down into your belly, loosening any knots of worry. It travels down your legs and into your feet, releasing the urge to stand up and do something. It flows up into your shoulders, your neck, your head, quieting the busy mind that is always planning, always worrying, always trying to take care of everything. This permission is the ultimate act of trust, trusting that you are worthy of rest, trusting that it is safe to let go, trusting that by nourishing yourself, you are not abandoning the world, but preparing to meet it with greater love and strength. Let this be your final conscious act of the day, the act of giving yourself the gift you so freely give to others, the gift of grace, the gift of peace, the gift of unconditional permission to simply be. Just rest in this newfound freedom. There is nothing more to do, no one to please, nothing to fix, only this moment and the deep, profound peace of having finally, lovingly set your burden down. In this beautiful state of permission, with the heavy backpack of obligation set aside for the night, we can begin the gentle undoing. This is not a process of force, but of allowing. It is the natural release that occurs when we finally stop holding on so tightly. Let's use the power of your imagination, the language of your subconscious mind, to help this release happen on a deeper level. Your mind thinks in images and feelings, so let us offer it a new image, a new feeling, to replace the old story of guilt. Find the image that feels most true for you. For some, guilt feels like a heavy, sodden cloak, a dark, woolen garment that you've been wearing for so long, you've forgotten what it feels like to be without it. It has protected you in some ways, perhaps, keeping you small and safe within the familiar bounds of service, but it is cumbersome. It restricts your movement and dampens your light. It has absorbed the reins of other people's sorrows and the weight of unspoken resentments. Now, in your mind's eye, see yourself standing in a quiet, safe space. It could be a moonlit meadow, a calm seashore, or a peaceful room. You become aware of this cloak, of its texture, its weight on your shoulders. You feel the damp chill of it against your skin, and you realize, with a quiet certainty, that you no longer need to wear it. Slowly, gracefully, You reach for the clasp at your throat. Your fingers are steady. There is no anger or violence in this act, only a gentle, loving intention to be free. You undo the clasp. With a deep, cleansing exhale, you shrug your shoulders and allow the cloak to slide off you. You watch as it pools at your feet, a dark shadow on the ground. And for the first time in a long time, you feel the gentle air on your skin. You feel a surprising lightness in your body. You can stand up straighter, breathe more deeply. The weight is gone. You can simply leave the cloak there on the ground. You don't need to destroy it or banish it. It is simply a story you are no longer choosing to wear. Perhaps for you, guilt feels more like a tangled rope, a complex knot of obligations, fears, and old beliefs wrapped tightly around your chest and your stomach. It constricts your breath and keeps your heart guarded. It's a knot you've tried to untangle with your logical mind for years, pulling at one thread only to find it tightens another. But tonight, we will not try to untangle it. We will simply invite it to dissolve. Imagine a warm, golden light beginning to glow from the center of your being, from your heart space. This is the light of your own compassion, your own self-love. See this light expanding with each breath, its warmth gently touching the tangled ropes. And as the light touches the ropes, they don't break or snap. They simply begin to loosen. Their fibers soften, their tension releases. The knots begin to effortlessly undo themselves, not through force, but through the gentle, persistent application of warmth and love. With every breath you take, the ropes become looser, softer, until they are no longer constricting you at all. They transform into soft, shimmering threads of light that are then rewoven into a beautiful tapestry of strength and wisdom within you. The energy that was bound up in the knot is now released, free to be used for your own healing and joy. Now, let us bring this process into an even more direct and physical experience by using the power of your breath. Your breath is the most incredible tool for release. It is the bridge between your body and your mind, between the conscious and the subconscious. Each exhale is a natural physical process of letting go. So, let's attach an intention to it. As you breathe in, imagine you are drawing in peace, calm, and this new sense of freedom. Let the air you breathe in be filled with the energy of self-compassion and permission. And as you breathe out, imagine that you are releasing the old feelings of obligation. With each long, slow exhale, let go of a layer of guilt. Let go of the fear of disappointing someone. Let go of the belief that you are not enough unless you are giving. You can even silently say a word with each out-breath, like releasing, or letting go, or simply peace. Inhale, loving acceptance. Exhale, undeserved guilt. Inhale the truth of your worthiness. Exhale the old story of selfishness. Do this for a few rounds of breath, feeling the tangible shift with each cycle. This is not just an idea. It is a physiological process. You are signaling to your nervous system that it is safe to downshift, to move out of the state of high alert that comes with feeling responsible for everything and everyone, and into a state of deep, restorative rest. Feel the physical and emotional lightness that begins to emerge from this gentle undoing. It might start as a subtle tingling in your hands and feet, a sign of energy beginning to flow more freely. It might be a warmth spreading through your chest, where that tightness used to be. It might be a feeling of spaciousness in your mind as the looping, worrying thoughts begin to quiet down. You may feel as if you are floating slightly, unburdened. Or you may feel a deep, pleasurable heaviness as your body finally gives in to the pull of gravity, no longer needing to hold itself up with so much tension. This lightness is your natural state. This peace is your birthright. It has always been there, beneath the weight of the cloak, beneath the constriction of the ropes. It has simply been waiting for you to give yourself permission to feel it again. Don't try to hold on to this feeling. Just allow it to be. Like a gentle stream, let it wash through you, cleansing any remaining residue of the day, of the week, of the years of carrying so much. This is the gentle undoing. It is the quiet miracle of release. It is the beginning of a new way of being, one where your own peace is no longer seen as a luxury, but as the very foundation upon which a life of joyful, sustainable giving can be built. Just continue to breathe. And with each breath, allow yourself to become lighter, softer, and more at ease. There is nothing left to do. The undoing is happening all by itself. All you have to do is allow. In this emerging state of lightness, having gently let go of the heavy cloak of guilt, a space opens up. A quiet, clear space in your mind and heart where a new truth can finally take root. For so long, the dialogue has been a simple, harsh binary. You were either selfless, which was good, or you were selfish, which was bad. But this is a profound oversimplification of the beautiful complexity of a human life. It is a story told by a frightened mind, not a wise soul. Tonight, let us write a new story. Let us graduate from this childish vocabulary and embrace a deeper, more empowering definition. We are going to move from selfish to sacred. Let's consider this word, sacred. What does it mean? It means something that is regarded with great respect and reverence, something worthy of devotion, something set apart, protected, and honored as being of intrinsic, unquestionable value. For centuries, we have applied this word to temples, to ancient texts, to holy grounds, to rituals. But what if the most sacred thing you will ever be entrusted with is not outside of you, but within you? What if your own well-being, your own life force, your own consciousness is the most sacred temple you will ever tend? What if your own inner peace is the most sacred ground you will ever walk? This is not an act of ego. It is an act of profound spiritual intelligence. It is the recognition that the spark of life within you is a miracle, a precious and unrepeatable expression of the universe. To neglect it, to deplete it, to treat it as secondary to anything or anyone else is not humility. It is a form of desecration. It is to treat a holy thing as if it were mundane. The act of choosing yourself, therefore, is not selfish. It is the sacred act of self-preservation. It is the priestess tending the eternal flame in the temple. It is the guardian protecting the holy ground from being trampled. When you choose to rest instead of pushing through exhaustion, you are not being selfish. You are honoring the sacred vessel of your body. You are recognizing that it is the only instrument you have through which to experience this life, and it deserves to be treated with reverence and care. When you set a boundary to protect your energy, you are not being selfish. You are protecting the sacred space of your inner peace. You are acknowledging that from this inner sanctum of calm, all true wisdom, creativity, and love flows. To allow it to be constantly invaded and disrupted is to poison your own wellspring. When you invest time and energy in something that brings you joy, that nourishes your soul, you are not being selfish. You are making a sacred offering to the life force that animates you. You are feeding the divine spark within, allowing its light to grow brighter, a light that will inevitably shine out and warm the world around you. This redefinition changes everything. It elevates the conversation from a petty courtroom drama of guilt and innocence to a high act of spiritual devotion. It moves the focus from what others might think of you to what your own deepest wisdom knows to be true. Think about it this way. A truly wise and loving person would never demand that you destroy yourself in their service. They would want you to be whole, to be happy, to be vibrant. The only part of us that demands self-sacrifice is the frightened, needy ego, in ourselves or in others. By choosing the sacred act of self-preservation, you are aligning yourself with the highest good for everyone, even if it feels uncomfortable in the short term. You are modeling a new way of being for others. You are teaching your children, your friends, your community, that it is not only okay, but essential to honor one's own needs. You become a living permission slip for everyone around you to do the same. This is a quiet revolution of the heart. Posit this, that listening to your own needs is an act of profound wisdom and inner alignment. Your body, your emotions, your intuition, they are constantly speaking to you, offering guidance. The feeling of tiredness is not a weakness. It is a wise message saying, rest is required. The feeling of resentment is not a character flaw. It is a wise signal that a boundary has been crossed. The feeling of joy when you engage in a hobby is not a frivolous distraction. It is a wise compass pointing you toward what nourishes your soul. For years, you may have been taught to ignore these signals, to override them in the name of duty or responsibility. You were taught to listen to the needs of everyone else more than you listen to the needs of your own inner guidance system. But this is like a ship's captain ignoring the compass and the barometer, and instead trying to navigate treacherous waters by listening to the demands of all the passengers. It is a path to disaster. The wisest thing the captain can do is to honor the instruments of navigation, to listen to the wisdom of the ship itself. That is inner alignment. It is the courage to trust the signals your own being is sending you and to honor them as sacred guidance. Let this new affirmation sink into the fertile ground of your mind, now cleared of the weeds of guilt. Caring for myself is a sacred responsibility. Feel the power in that statement. It is not a weak or apologetic plea for a little time off. It is a strong, dignified, and loving declaration of a fundamental truth. It is your most important, non-negotiable duty in this life. From this one responsibility, all others can be fulfilled with grace and sustainability. Without it, everything else eventually crumbles. So, as you drift deeper and deeper into relaxation, let go of the word selfish. Banish it from your vocabulary as it relates to your well-being. It is an old, broken tool that is no longer useful. In its place, put the word sacred. See your need for rest as sacred. See your need for peace as sacred. See your need for joy as sacred. This is not about becoming self-obsessed or narcissistic. It is about becoming self-possessed in the truest sense of the word. It is about finally coming home to yourself and recognizing the holy ground on which you stand. It is about treating yourself with the same reverence and tender care that you have so naturally and beautifully offered to others for your entire life. It is, quite simply, your turn to be held as sacred. And the first person to do that must be you. As this truth of sacred self-responsibility settles within you, let's explore this idea further with another gentle, life-giving image. Imagine that your inner world, your well-being, your energy, your spirit, is a beautiful, secret garden. This garden is uniquely yours. It has been with you since the day you were born, a pristine landscape of potential. For a long time, however, you have been a very busy and dedicated gardener in everyone else's garden. You have rushed from plot to plot, pulling weeds for one person, watering thirsty plants for another, planting seeds of encouragement for a third. You have become an expert in tending to others' needs, and you have helped create immense beauty and growth in the world around you. And this is a wonderful, noble thing. But in your constant focus on the gardens of others, your own sacred plot of land has been neglected. It hasn't been destroyed. Its soil is still rich and full of potential. The seeds of your own dreams and joys are still there, dormant, waiting beneath the surface. But the pathways have become overgrown. Weeds of self-doubt and exhaustion have crept in. The ground has become dry and cracked from a lack of attention. The vibrant colors have faded, and a certain stillness, a certain quiet sadness hangs in the air. Tending to your own needs, choosing yourself, is not an act of abandoning the other gardens. It is the simple, necessary act of deciding to return to your own. It is the decision to become the loving, dedicated keeper of your own inner landscape. And this is not a chore. It is a peaceful, life-giving act. Imagine yourself now, standing at the gate of your own inner garden. You push the gate open, and it creaks a little, unused to being opened. You step inside. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the neglect, you feel a sense of homecoming, a deep peace. You are finally here. You look around, not with criticism or judgment, but with the compassionate eyes of a wise gardener. You see the work that needs to be done, but you feel no rush. There is no deadline here. There is only the slow, rhythmic, and deeply satisfying work of restoration. What is the first thing your garden needs? Perhaps it is water. The soil is parched. Your own wellspring has run low from watering every other plot but your own. So, you find the tap, or the old well in the corner of your garden, and you begin to water. Imagine the feeling of giving your own soul a long, deep drink. See the thirsty ground, soaking it in, the cracks beginning to soften. This watering is every act of replenishment. It is taking a warm bath. It is drinking a cup of tea in silence. It is allowing yourself to cry when you need to. It is the act of giving yourself the fundamental nourishment you have been denying yourself. With every sip of water you drink, with every moment of quiet you claim, you are watering your own garden. Next, you see the weeds. These are the negative thought patterns, the limiting beliefs, the voice of the inner critic that says you are selfish or not good enough. They have grown thick and tangled, choking out the more delicate plants. The process of weeding is gentle. You don't yank them out with anger. You kneel down. You get your hands in the soil of your own mind, and you carefully, lovingly, loosen the roots of these old beliefs one by one. You examine a weed, the belief that I must always be available, and you see its shallow roots. You thank it for trying to keep you connected, and then you gently pull it out and set it aside. You find another, my needs don't matter, and you see how it has been casting a shadow over a patch of budding flowers. You gently remove it, letting the light in. This weeding is the mental work we are doing here tonight. It is questioning the old stories, reframing them, and choosing to cultivate more loving, life-affirming thoughts instead. Then there's the need for sunlight. For a garden to flourish, it needs light and warmth. Sunlight, in this metaphor, is joy. It is pleasure. It is play. It is anything that makes your spirit feel warm and expansive. For so long, you may have been living under a canopy of obligations, a thick covering of shoulds and musts that has blocked the sun from reaching your own garden. Choosing yourself means intentionally creating openings for the sun to shine in. It means scheduling time for a hobby you love, not as a reward, but as a necessity for the health of your garden. It means allowing yourself to laugh, to be silly, to do something for the pure, simple pleasure of it. This is not frivolous. This is photosynthesis for the soul. It is the process by which you convert light into the energy you need to grow and thrive. Visualizing your own well-being as this beautiful, deserving inner garden changes your relationship to self-care. It ceases to be one more thing on your to-do list. It becomes a sacred, creative, and joyful process. You begin to ask yourself different questions in the morning. Not just, what do I have to do for everyone else today? But what does my garden need today? Does it need water? Does it need some weeding? Does it need more sun? This is a practice of deep and attentive listening to your own inner landscape. And the most beautiful part of this is that a flourishing garden is a gift to everyone. Its beauty and fragrance spill over the walls. Its health and vitality create a more vibrant ecosystem for all the gardens around it. When your garden is thriving, you have more authentic energy, more genuine joy, and more clear-headed wisdom to offer the world. You are not giving from a place of resentful duty, but from the natural overflow of your own abundance. The bees that visit your flowers will go on to pollinate other gardens. The seeds from your healthy plants may be carried on the wind to take root elsewhere. Your peace becomes a healing presence. Your joy becomes an inspiration. So as you rest here, imagine yourself in your garden. The sun is setting, casting a warm, golden glow over everything. The soil is dark and moist from its recent watering. A few weeds have been cleared, and a patch of new green shoots is now visible. You feel a sense of deep satisfaction, a quiet pride. This is your sacred space. Tending to it is your most important work. And you know, with a deep certainty, that this work is not selfish. It is the most loving, life-giving act you could ever undertake. Just breathe here, in the peace of your own garden, knowing you can return here whenever you need to. It is always waiting for you. As you rest peacefully in the quiet sanctuary of your inner garden, let's take a moment to acknowledge something truly remarkable. We have been speaking of the cost of your giving, the depletion of your well, the neglect of your garden. But there is another side to this story, a side that speaks of your incredible, undeniable strength. Before we can fully embrace a future of balanced self-care, we must honor the past and the resilience that has brought you to this very moment. I want you to consider, with a sense of awe and deep respect for yourself, what you have survived. Think of the immense resilience it has taken to give so much, for so long. This is not a story of victimhood. It is an epic tale of endurance. It is the story of a heart that has managed to keep beating, to keep loving, to keep giving, even when its own needs were chronically unmet. That is a form of strength so profound, it is often invisible, even to ourselves. We tend to associate strength with grand, heroic gestures, with loud victories and public triumphs. But there is a quieter, deeper strength. It is the strength of the deep-rooted tree that withstands the storm, not by fighting it, but by bending, by yielding, and by holding its ground. You have been that tree. Think of the countless emotional storms you have weathered, both your own and those of others. You have been the steady presence, the calm anchor when the winds of chaos were howling. You have absorbed the lightning strikes of other people's anger or fear, transforming their chaotic energy into something more grounded. You did this not because you are unfeeling, but because you are so deeply feeling that you chose to bear the burden to protect someone else. That requires a fortitude that is almost unimaginable. Think of the droughts you have endured, the long periods of emotional or spiritual dryness, where there was little coming in to nourish you, yet you continued to provide for others. You drew upon reserves you didn't even know you had. You found microscopic drops of moisture in the parched earth of your own being and offered them up. This is the strength of a survivor, the profound adaptability of the human spirit. Let's honor the inner strength that has carried you through every single moment of exhaustion and sacrifice. Bring to mind, if you can, the feeling of bone-deep weariness at the end of a long day, a long week, a long year of caring for others. The feeling when your mind was screaming for a break, but your heart propelled you to do one more thing, to make one more call, to offer one more piece of yourself. In those moments, what was it that kept you going? It was not weakness. It was a fierce and powerful love. It was a commitment so deep that it allowed you to transcend your own perceived limitations. You have pushed the boundaries of human endurance again and again, not for a medal or for glory, but for love. That is the strength of a true warrior of the heart. Acknowledge the sheer weight of the emotional labor you have performed over a lifetime, the worrying you have done on behalf of others, the mental space you have dedicated to tracking their needs, their schedules, their emotional states, the silent diplomacy you have engaged in to keep the peace in your family, your workplace, your community. This is invisible work. It is not listed on any resume. It does not come with a paycheck, but it is some of the most essential and demanding work in the world. And you have done it tirelessly. You have been the CEO, the project manager, and the entire emotional support department for so many people in your life. To have done this, and to still be here, to still have a heart capable of feeling and loving, is nothing short of a miracle. It speaks to a constitution made of the strongest, most resilient materials. So, as you lie here, let this new perspective settle over you like a warm, weighted blanket. You are not just a person who is tired. You are a person who has demonstrated Olympic-level endurance. You are not a person who is broken or depleted. You are a person who is in possession of immense, field-tested reserves of strength. The very fact that you are here, listening to this, seeking a new way, is the ultimate proof of your resilience. A less resilient spirit would have shattered. A less resilient heart would have hardened into bitterness or cynicism, but not you. Your heart, though tired, is still soft. Your spirit, though weary, is still seeking growth. This is your power. Let this affirmation become a deep, cellular knowing. My past has shown me my incredible strength. Breathe that in. Let it fill the spaces within you that have felt weak or inadequate. Let it reframe the narrative of your life. You are not a victim of your giving nature. You are a testament to the power of a loving heart. You are a survivor of 1,000 silent battles. You are a powerhouse of resilience. Why is it so important to acknowledge this? Because when you begin this new journey of tending to your own garden, of filling your own well, the voice of the inner critic might try to tell you that you are being weak or self-indulgent. It might whisper that the strong thing to do is to keep sacrificing. By consciously remembering the truth of your immense strength, you provide yourself with an unshakable defense against that voice. You can respond with a quiet, confident knowing. I am not being weak. I am being wise. My strength is not in question. I have proven it 1,000,000 times over. Now, I am choosing to use that strength to build a more sustainable life. I am using my power not just to survive, but to finally, truly thrive. This acknowledgement also allows you to be more compassionate with your own exhaustion. When you understand the marathon you have run, you can look upon your current need for rest not as a failing, but as a logical, necessary, and well-earned recovery period. You wouldn't expect a marathon runner to sprint another mile the moment they cross the finish line. You would expect them to rest, to rehydrate, to receive care. You have crossed a finish line of sorts, the end of a long chapter of unsustainable giving. It is now your time for recovery, and you have earned it. So rest now, not as a broken person, but as a triumphant warrior. Rest as the tree that has weathered the storm and now deserves the peace of a sunlit afternoon. Rest as the well that has nourished a village and now deserves to be replenished by the gentle rains. Your strength is not gone. It is simply being redirected. It is the very foundation upon which you will build this new, more balanced, and joyful way of living. You have everything you need already within you. The strength, the resilience, the love. We are just learning how to turn it inward. In the warm and empowering light of acknowledging your incredible strength, let us now bring this journey into the present moment. Let's gently celebrate a recent victory, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant it may feel. The path to lasting change is paved not with one giant leap, but with 1,000 tiny, courageous steps. It is in these small moments of choosing yourself that the new neural pathways are truly forged. So, I invite you to gently scan your memory of the past day or the past week. Don't search for something dramatic or monumental. Look for a quiet moment, a subtle shift, a choice you made, however fleeting, that honored your own peace. Perhaps it was the moment you decided to let the phone ring instead of answering it, because you knew you didn't have the energy for a conversation. Perhaps it was choosing to go to bed 20 minutes earlier, even though there were still dishes in the sink. Maybe you said a soft no to a request without a long, apologetic explanation. Or maybe you simply took 5 deep breaths in the middle of a stressful day, a conscious choice to give yourself a moment of reprieve. It could have been the decision to buy yourself the slightly more expensive coffee that you really love, or to listen to a song that nourishes your soul, or to sit in silence for a few minutes instead of filling the space with noise. Find one of these moments. Hold it gently in your awareness, like a precious, glowing ember. See the details. Where were you? What was happening? What was the choice you faced? And what was the choice you made for yourself? Now, let's reframe this moment. Your initial conditioned response might have been to feel a pang of guilt right after. The old programming might have labeled that choice as lazy, or unproductive, or selfish. But tonight, we are going to look at it through the new lens we have been cultivating. We are going to see it for what it truly was, a profound act of courage and self-love. That choice was not a moment of weakness. It was a moment of immense strength. It required you to act against the powerful current of your lifelong conditioning. It required you to disappoint a tiny part of your own brain that is addicted to the pattern of self-sacrifice. It required you to be the guardian of your own well-being, the tender of your own sacred garden, in a world that is constantly asking you to tend to everything else. That small act was a revolution in miniature. It was a declaration of your own worth. It was you, in a very practical and tangible way, saying, "My peace matters. My energy is a finite and precious resource. My needs are valid." It was you aligning your actions with the deep wisdom that knows the well cannot pour if it is empty. This is the very definition of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting in alignment with your values despite the fear. In that moment, you likely felt a flicker of fear. The fear of being judged. The fear of letting someone down. The fear of being seen as selfish. And yet, you chose your own well-being anyway. That is bravery in its purest form. Let yourself feel the quiet pride and peace that comes from honoring your own needs in this way. Allow that feeling to blossom in your chest now as you remember that moment. It might not be a loud, triumphant feeling. It might be a soft, warm glow, a gentle sense of rightness, a quiet hum of peace in your nervous system. Savor this feeling. This is the reward. This is the positive reinforcement that will help you make the same courageous choice again. Your brain learns from experience. When you consciously acknowledge the feeling of peace that follows an act of self-care, you are teaching your brain to associate setting boundaries with safety and well-being, rather than with danger and guilt. You are creating a new feedback loop. The old loop was, give to others, receive approval, feel good. The new loop we are creating is, listen to my own needs, honor them, feel an inner sense of peace and integrity. This new loop is infinitely more stable and sustainable because it doesn't depend on external validation. It is a closed circuit of self-love and self-respect. It is you becoming your own source of safety and approval. Every time you make one of these small choices, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. You are casting a vote for a future where you are not just a survivor, but a thriving, joyful, and deeply nourished human being. And these votes add up. Each one strengthens the new pattern. Each one makes the next choice a little bit easier. The guilt may still arise. The overprotective guard at the gate of your heart may still shout its warnings, but with each courageous choice, its voice gets a little quieter. And the voice of your own inner wisdom, the voice that knows your sacred worth, gets a little stronger. So, celebrate this victory. Magnify it in your mind. If you chose to take 5 deep breaths, see it not as a tiny, insignificant pause, but as a heroic act of reclaiming your own nervous system. If you chose to go to bed early, see it not as skipping your chores, but as a sacred offering to the temple of your body. Relabel these acts. Elevate them to their rightful status as acts of profound self-love and wisdom. By doing this, you are actively rewriting your own story. You are taking the pen back from the inner critic and becoming the conscious author of your own life. You are moving from a narrative of obligation and sacrifice to a narrative of sovereignty and sacred self-care. This is the work. It is not found in a grand, sweeping gesture, but here in the gentle, consistent celebration of these small, courageous choices. This is how we heal. This is how we grow. Not by fighting the old, but by building the new. And you have already begun. You are already doing it. Just rest in the quiet, dignified pride of that knowing. You are courageous. You are learning. And you are on your way home to yourself. As you rest in this quiet feeling of pride, celebrating your small but mighty acts of courage, let us expand our perspective once more. Let us address one of the most persistent and subtle arguments of the inner critic. The idea that by focusing on your own peace, you are somehow being selfishly insular, withdrawing from the world and neglecting your responsibility to it. This could not be further from the truth. In reality, your own inner peace is one of the greatest gifts you can offer to everyone and everything around you. Let's explore the ripple effect of your peace. Imagine your emotional and energetic state as a small stone dropped into a still pond. The quality of that stone determines the quality of the ripples that spread out from it. For a long time, you may have been dropping a stone of exhaustion, of quiet resentment, of strained obligation into the pond of your life. And even with the best of intentions, the ripples that emanated from that state were likely tinged with that same energy. They might have shown up as impatience, as a lack of presence, as a subtle, energetic demand for recognition of your sacrifice. You were giving, yes, but the giving was colored by the depletion from which it came. Now, imagine that through these courageous acts of self-care, of tending your garden, of filling your well, you are changing the quality of the stone itself. You are now dropping a stone of calm, of centeredness, of quiet joy, of genuine abundance into the pond. What kind of ripples does that stone create? They are ripples of peace. They are ripples of patience. They are ripples of acceptance. Your very presence begins to change. A rested, centered person brings a calmer, more loving energy into every room they enter. Think about it in the most practical terms. When you are well rested, you are more likely to respond to a loved one's stressful day with patience and empathy rather than with irritation. Your calm becomes a co-regulating force for their nervous system. They feel your peace, and it helps them find their own. When you are nourished and your own needs are met, you can listen to a friend's problem with your full attention, without simultaneously calculating the cost to your own energy reserves. You can be fully present, which is the greatest gift of all. When you are not running on empty, you have more creative energy to solve problems at work, more resilience to handle unexpected challenges, and more generosity of spirit to assume the best in others. Your peace is not a passive, private state. It is an active, transmittable force for good in the world. It is a form of sacred activism. In a world that is so often frantic, anxious, and reactive, a person who has cultivated their own inner peace is a walking sanctuary. They are an anchor in the storm. They don't have to do anything. Their very being becomes a source of stability and comfort for those around them. This is the great paradox. The more you focus on cultivating your own inner state for its own sake, the more effective you become in the outer world. The less you try to control and manage everyone else's feelings, and the more you take responsibility for your own, the more you positively influence them. You stop trying to be the frantic gardener in every other plot. And by simply tending to your own with love, your garden becomes so beautiful and vibrant that it inspires and nourishes the entire neighborhood. Let this powerful affirmation sink deep into your being, dismantling any final remnants of guilt. My peace is a healing presence in the world. Feel the truth of this. It's not about what you do, it's about who you are. Your state of being is your primary contribution to the collective. When you are at peace, you are less likely to engage in gossip, to react with anger, to spread fear or anxiety. You naturally add to the sum total of peace on the planet. This is not a small thing. It is the most fundamental way we can contribute to healing the world. The world does not need more exhausted martyrs. It has plenty of those. What the world desperately needs are more well-rested, joyful, and centered people who can think clearly, love freely, and act wisely. It needs more people whose wells are so full that they can give from the overflow, without expectation or resentment. By making your own well-being a priority, you are answering this deep need of the world. You are training to become one of those people. Think of the people you most admire, the ones you feel most at ease around. Are they frantic, depleted, and constantly complaining about how much they have to do? Or are they the ones who seem to have a sense of inner calm, who listen more than they talk, who move with a sense of purpose, but not of frantic urgency? We are all drawn to the energy of peace. We intuitively seek it out in others. By cultivating it in yourself, you become a source of that deeply needed energy for your family, your friends, and your community. You become a leader, not through your words or your actions, but through your example. You show them what is possible. You show them that there is another way to live, a way that is not based on the frantic cycle of burnout and recovery, but on a steady, sustainable rhythm of nourishment and joyful contribution. So, let go of the idea that this journey is a selfish one. It is, in fact, an act of profound service. It is the most efficient and powerful way to become the force for good you have always wanted to be. Every moment you invest in your own peace is an investment in the peace of the world. Every time you choose to rest, you are casting a vote for a more sane and gentle society. Every boundary you set is a lesson in self-respect that ripples out to others. Rest now in the profound and liberating knowledge that by doing this for yourself, you are doing it for all of us. Your peace is a gift. Your rest is a contribution. Your well-being is a blessing to the world. There is no greater generosity than this. Just allow this truth to hold you as you drift deeper into sleep. You are a beacon. And by tending to your own light, you help illuminate the way for everyone. As you float in this deep state of peace, feeling the truth of your own healing presence in the world, let us now take all these new understandings, these gentle reframings, and weave them into the very fabric of your soul. It is one thing to understand an idea with your conscious mind. It is another, much more powerful thing to allow it to become an integrated cellular knowing. This is the process of embodiment, where a new belief moves from being a concept you think about to a truth you live by, effortlessly and naturally. This is not something you need to force. It is a process of gentle absorption, like a plant soaking in the morning dew. As you lie here on the threshold of sleep, your mind is in its most receptive state. The critical, analytical part of your brain is beginning to power down, and the deeper, more intuitive subconscious mind is open and listening. This is the perfect time to plant these new seeds of truth where they can grow deep roots. So, simply relax and allow these words, these beliefs, to wash over you. Let them sink in without any effort on your part. You don't need to analyze them or even remember them consciously. Just allow them to become a part of you. The first truth to be woven in is this: My worth is inherent and unconditional. It does not depend on my productivity, my usefulness to others, or how much I give. I am worthy simply because I exist. Let that simple, profound statement echo in the quiet spaces within you. My worth is inherent. It is not earned. It cannot be taken away. It is the bedrock of my being. Feel the stability and the deep, unshakable peace that comes from this belief. It releases you from the frantic, exhausting hamster wheel of trying to prove your value. You can finally just be. Next, allow this belief to settle deep into your being. Caring for myself is a sacred and non-negotiable responsibility. It is not selfish. It is not an indulgence. It is the most fundamental act of wisdom and stewardship. It is the way I honor the precious gift of my own life. Feel this shift from apology to empowerment. You are no longer asking for permission to rest or to have your needs met. You are claiming it as a sacred duty, a holy act. It is your devotion to the temple of your own body and spirit. As this truth takes root, another one can blossom. It is safe for me to set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls that push others away. They are the loving and respectful fences that protect my sacred inner garden. They are a clear and kind way of teaching others how to treat me. They are an expression of self-respect. Feel the safety in this. You can say no with love. You can protect your energy with grace. You are allowed to be the sovereign guardian of your own peace. And now, let this gentle truth weave itself into your heart. My peace is a gift to the world. By cultivating my own inner calm, I become a healing and stabilizing presence for everyone around me. My rest is a contribution to a more peaceful planet. This belief dissolves the final traces of guilt. It transforms your self-care from a private act into a public service of the most profound kind. You are not withdrawing from the world. You are preparing yourself to meet it with the best of what you have to offer. As these beliefs begin to intertwine, forming a new, strong foundation, let this one be the gentle rain that nourishes them all. I am allowed to receive. I am open to receiving rest, joy, love, and support. Giving and receiving are two halves of the same whole, like the inhale and the exhale. I now allow myself to breathe fully, to both give and receive with ease and grace. Feel your heart space soften and open with this belief. Let go of the need to always be the strong one, the capable one. Allow yourself the gentle vulnerability of being cared for, of being supported, of simply receiving the goodness that life wants to offer you. Now, as you drift even deeper into relaxation, let these truths become a gentle, rhythmic mantra. You can repeat them silently in your mind, or just listen as they are spoken, letting them become the lullaby that carries you into sleep. I am worthy of this peace. My well-being is sacred. It is safe to let go. My peace is a healing presence. I am allowed to receive. Let these phrases be like smooth, warm stones, dropping one by one into the deep, still pool of your subconscious mind. Watch as the ripples of their meaning spread out, touching every part of you, recalibrating your entire system to this new, more loving frequency. This is how true change happens. Not through struggle, but through surrender. Not through force, but through a gentle, persistent infusion of a new truth. You are weaving a new tapestry for your soul. The old threads of guilt, obligation, and self-sacrifice are being gently replaced by strong, vibrant threads of worthiness, sovereignty, and sacred self-love. This tapestry will be more beautiful, more resilient, and more authentically you than anything you could have woven before. Just rest now. Let the weaving happen on its own. Your only job is to be still and to allow this new truth to become the very ground of your being. It is already happening. It is already done. You are simply allowing yourself to catch up to the truth that your soul has always known. You are worthy. You are sacred. You are enough. And now, the time for active thought is over. The work is done. The seeds of truth have been planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. All that is left now is to let go completely, to shift from a state of doing and becoming to a state of simple, profound being. It is time for the slow descent into rest. Let my words become like a gentle, flowing river, and allow yourself to simply float on the surface. There is no need to hold on to them, no need to analyze their meaning. Just let the sound, the rhythm, and the cadence of the words wash over you, carrying you deeper and deeper into a state of peace. Your body knows the way to sleep. It is an ancient, innate wisdom. You do not need to command it to rest. You only need to grant it permission. You can now release your focus from this journey we have taken. Let the concepts of guilt and sacredness, of gardens and wells, all dissolve into the background. They have served their purpose. Now, there is only this moment, this breath, and the gentle, irresistible pull of deep, restorative sleep. Bring your awareness, for the last time tonight, to the simple, physical sensations of your body. Notice the feeling of the blankets or sheets against your skin. Feel their softness, their warmth, their gentle weight. Imagine they are infused with safety and comfort, a protective cocoon woven just for you. Feel the heaviness of your limbs. It is a pleasant heaviness, a comforting weight. It is the feeling of your body letting go, releasing the last remnants of tension. Your feet feel heavy and warm. Your ankles and calves are soft and relaxed. This feeling of profound heaviness flows up into your knees and your thighs, melting away any tightness, any holding. Your legs are completely at rest, sinking gently into the surface beneath them. This wave of heaviness now pools in your hips and your pelvis, a deep, grounding sensation, releasing the core of your body, allowing your lower back to soften and spread. The heaviness flows up your spine, vertebra by vertebra, like a warm, thick honey, releasing each tiny muscle along the way. Your entire back feels soft, wide, and completely supported. Your shoulders, which have carried so much, now feel profoundly heavy, melting down and away from your ears. This deep, pleasant weight flows down your arms, through your elbows, into your wrists, and all the way to the tips of your fingers. Your arms are heavy. Your hands are still. There's nothing for them to do. Nothing to hold, nothing to fix. Your neck is soft and relaxed. Your head feels heavy on the pillow, cradled and secure. Allow the tiny muscles of your face to go completely slack. Your jaw is loose. Your lips are gently parted. Your cheeks are soft. The space between your eyebrows is wide and smooth. Your eyelids are heavy, so very heavy, resting gently, peacefully over your eyes. Your entire body is now in a state of deep, profound rest, heavy, warm, and still. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, no one to be, just this deep, simple, and perfect peace. Your breath is your anchor now, your gentle guide into the depths of sleep. Notice how it has become slower, quieter, more shallow. It is the breath of a body that is completely at ease. With each gentle exhale, you feel yourself letting go just a little bit more, sinking just a little bit deeper. drifting just a little bit further away from the waking world. The sounds around you begin to fade into a distant, gentle hum. They are part of the landscape of the night, but they do not require your attention. Your attention is turned inward now, to the vast, peaceful space within. Imagine you are standing at the top of a soft, grassy hill at twilight. The sky above you is a deep, velvety indigo, dotted with the first few faint stars. The air is cool and still. Before you is a gentle sloping path that leads down into a quiet, misty valley. This is the path to sleep. With each breath you take, you find yourself taking one slow, easy step down this path. There is no rush. The path is soft underfoot. With every step, you feel more and more peaceful, more and more sleepy. The concerns of the day are left behind at the top of the hill. They cannot follow you down here. This valley is a place of pure rest, step by step, breath by breath. You descend into a deeper state of relaxation. The mist in the valley is not cold or frightening. It is a soft, comforting mist of peace. As you walk into it, it seems to wrap around you like a soft blanket, muffling all sound, dissolving all thought. You feel safe. You feel hidden. You feel completely at ease. Just continue to walk down this path in your mind, at your own pace, knowing that with each step, you are moving closer to the deep, dreamless, restorative sleep that your body and soul are calling for. The descent is gentle. It is easy. It is inevitable. All you need to do is allow it to happen. Just allow. Let go. Drift. Float. The river is carrying you now. Just rest. The path has faded now. The gentle mist has enveloped everything. There is no longer a sense of going anywhere, only of being. You are floating in a vast, quiet, and peaceful space. The space between wakefulness and dream. The sacred threshold where the soul is given over to the care of the night. All conscious effort has now dissolved. You have done enough. You have listened enough. You have released enough. Now, all that is left is the final, gentle surrender to rest. It is here for you now. Sleep is not something you must chase or capture. It is a presence that has been waiting patiently for you to become still enough to receive it. It is a tide rising to meet you, to lift you, to carry you out into the deep, healing ocean of the unconscious. Just allow yourself to be carried. Isn't it a wonder, this nightly act of trust? We let go of our control, our plans, our very sense of self, and we trust that the night will hold us. We trust that our heart will continue to beat, that our lungs will continue to breathe, and that the quiet, intelligent work of healing and restoration will happen all on its own, without any direction from our conscious mind. This is the ultimate practice of what we have been exploring tonight. It is the ultimate act of receiving, the ultimate surrender, the final perfect release of the burden of being in charge. For these next few hours, you are not in charge. The deep ancient wisdom of your body is in charge. The mysterious, restorative power of sleep is in charge, and you are safe. You are so very safe in its care. Perhaps this is the truest form of self-care. Not the grand gestures, but this simple, nightly letting go. This faith in the processes of life that are far older and wiser than our thinking minds. What if every night, as we fall asleep, we are practicing the art of living? The art of trusting the unknown. The art of allowing ourselves to be held. The art of dissolving our rigid sense of self and merging with something greater. Each night, a rehearsal for a life lived with more grace, more ease, and more trust. The questions we wrestled with tonight about worthiness, about selfishness, about care, they can all be set down now. The answers are not found in more thinking. The deepest answers are found here in the silent, regenerative darkness. The body knows you are worthy of this peace. The soul knows you are worthy of this care. The mind is simply the last to learn, but it is learning. Tonight, it has learned so much, and now, it too deserves to rest. Feel the final threads of conscious thought loosening, drifting away like dandelion seeds on a gentle breeze. If a thought arises, just notice it without attachment and watch it float by. Your only focus now is the gentle, comforting darkness behind your eyes. A soft, velvety, peaceful darkness. A darkness that is not empty, but full of potential, full of healing, full of peace. This darkness is your oldest friend. It is the sanctuary you return to every night, even in the womb. It is home. You are home. You have done everything you needed to do for today. You have loved, you have learned, you have grown. You have carried the weight of the day, and now you have set it down. You have earned this rest 1,000 times over. There are no more demands on you now, no expectations, no one to be, nothing to prove. Just the simple, profound peace of being, held, safe, and deeply, deeply cared for. You are worthy of this peace. You are worthy of this care. Sleep is here for you now. Just allow. Rest.